Ironwood Games. This is Andrew, and we are back for we're at 2-2, so this will be our fifth game of our sealed Kaldheim. If you've been paying attention, we're running this Abzan build. It's kind of mid-rangey. Does terrible if my opponent has some early beaters and things, but we've won. That's kind of the two we've lost. We've won the two where my opponent needs a little bit more time to set up. We've been able to turn the corner and get a little bit more on the board and take it that way. So we're going to go into game 5. We're at 2-2, so we can only afford one more loss. Our next loss is the end. As always, my very modest goal is just to get 3-3, so get 3 wins before we get 3 losses. And with this deck, I'd be very happy with that. Going into Kaldheim practically blind, finding some decent synergies, finding some things, and going with it. So we're going to go in here, game 5, and let's see how we do. We will know. Hopefully this is a long video, and that is a good sign for us. If it's a relatively short video, that may be some bad news. I think I'm going to send this back. Just looking at this right away, it's got some interesting things, but I've got nothing to cast here on that. This is definitely a little bit better. I can foretell here or foretell here and have some future plays. So we'll keep this. We do have to send something back, and unfortunately I think it's going to be Maja, since I only have 1 plains here, and she is double white on that. We are on the draw, so we'll get to draw back that card we lost, and it's a forest. So that's fine. As always, priority on snow-covered permanents, snow permanents, just slightly higher than regular for some of our effects that care about those numbers. And here, since our opponent doesn't have anything down, Iron Verdict seems less useful. I'm going to foretell the cat, because getting that as a turn 4 is a really, really good play. We can still Iron Verdict on turn 3 if we need to, or we can Horizon Seeker turn 3 into a turn 4 cat here. Alright, I want to hold on to that in case I want to use it for the island. The Packmate's just a 3/3. So we can put this down and kind of offer the trade, especially since we have 2 in here. We do have the Iron Verdict. That's fine. Getting 2 of those. Our cat is going to be a much better turn 4 play. And then turn 5 we can boast and Seeker. So that's going to be my plan. Now he really can't attack. The one thing I do want to boast for will be a swamp. 3 more creatures here, put a +1. Okay. Oh, so it's a shapeshifter, so they're all 3 wolves. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. So here the question is, do I need another plains? We put Maja on the bottom, and that's really the only thing we need the plains for. So I'm just going to play it as the island. Playing it as the island lets me play Horizon Seeker and Foretell. No attacks. Since we don't have the black yet for it anyways, we don't mind waiting for another turn. Alright, so this guy's definitely got some bigger creatures than us. That's going to be fun. It's these 5 toughness are not pretty. We're going to foretell another card. And then we could just struggle, or we could foretell again. If we struggle, the thing we're gonna kill is one of these wolves that isn't impressive to me. So I think what I want to do is just foretell. No attacks. The fact that he can double block my vigilance is why it's not worth attacking here. I can't get a good... Oh my goodness. The spell can't be countered at the beginning of each upkeep. Create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. At each upkeep... Oh wow, okay. Sacrifice another target... That is a game-breaking card. Alright, we are gonna die. Jeez. How do we win? So this is a serpent that gets it indestructible, so poisoning. I think that we're gonna die. I think he's just gonna build an army of serpents. So one option is to attack fruitlessly to boast to get a swamp. To force a sack, double sack, still gains indestructible, and is hard to kill. I don't know. Honestly, I don't see a way out of this. This is gonna... this card is just way too good. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that you just create serpents to fuel its protection seems good. I just noticed now our opponent's name is Snake JG, which is... I'm no longer going to be sad about losing this match to who I could only assume is Jake the Snake, playing Magic. Oh, this is a good card. So he has a really good deck, has some great things, and the fact that his name is Snake is... I'm just gonna let him have it. He can win with this stupid Cosmos Serpent and destroy us. Oh my goodness, that's so... Oh, that's so good. I just... Oh, it's so... I don't know, that's... Such a... What are the odds? I don't know. Maybe he always gets snakes. Alright, so we tapped something. The problem is he still has... two serpents. So we're going to double block here because it's a 1-for-1. And then the question is, we're going to try... we might as well just foretell this. It's 5 damage here. We need a way to kill this Cosmos Serpent, but we don't have it. He's just going to keep getting snakes. That lets him tap our stuff down and attack in. That's so good. So good. So we do have poison now. This struggle is interesting. We need to... desperately need to... kill things. Now that I'm reading this, that was probably a mistake because return to the battlefield means we just did nothing. I'm just going to try and poison. I know he's going to sack a snake to make it indestructible. And that's why this snake is ridiculously good. We do get the scry still. Neither one of these does anything for us. I mean, nothing really does anything for us against this snake. I just want to play this one out and see what we've got. I really don't see any reasonable path to winning. That had we had the poison online when the serpent came in, we might have... well, he had the changeling, so he still could have sacked a serpent to protect it. The fact that it's a 6/6, I think that's lethal there, means that we can deal the 5 damage to it. Again, I mean, losing to a pretty impressive mythic is not going to make me incredibly sad. I mean, it will. I wish I could get a mythic like this and the cards to support it. For sealed, that's great. So this is my favorite card in the set so far. And then on top of it, that our opponent here being named Snake, JG, who, as I said, I'm going to assume is Jake the Snake. Because I think he might be dead, actually. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if Jake the Snake is still alive and if he's playing Magic under the name Snake JG. And plays only serpents. I also like to imagine that Mr. Snake here, my opponent, plays sealed, but if he doesn't have a snake deck, he just folds. He just throws in the towel, goes and builds a new deck until he gets snakes. He exclusively plays snakes, and Um, that's it. It's interesting that these are serpents and not snakes. I know I've been calling them snakes, and they're actually serpents. It's really interesting. Um, Marcus has a snake commander deck that's actually snakes, and this wouldn't go in there because this is serpents. Um, and I don't know if that's a consideration, or why that is serpent over snake. But well, thanks for uh, checking out this last video, guys. I am sad we didn't get to our third win. Never the way I want to leave it. But we got to see an interesting deck that was, I mean, he outpowered us and he clearly had bigger bodies the whole way. And then that snake came out and was just game over. Um, we fought it out just to see what we get. Um, Again, because it's new, I just want to experience more cards and more play. So I'm less apt to just concede right away, even when the writing's on the wall. Not because I'm stubborn, just again, I want to experience and see some more cards and see more interactions. Gives me a chance to experience more things, remember more things in the future, um, and be aware of that. So we spent 2,000 gems to get in. We got 600 gems in 3 packs. A little disappointing. I like to at least, if we get 3 gems, we get at least half, or 3 wins, we get at least half of our gems back. And of course, 6 wins to get all of our gems back, and kind of go infinite. But that's the dream. I don't anticipate that being very often. So let's claim our prize. Since you guys stuck with me, I'll let you participate in the pack cracking here. Let's see what we got in these packs. I think I got one from the Mastery as well. So we played against this one. That's interesting. I like to look at these ones that say first. I love the way they label first, so I know I've seen it before or not. It really does help when you're haven't been really following along in the spoilers and things. Orange Epiphany. That's interesting. I'd have to evaluate that and see if it's worth the cost. You get 2 birds and you take an extra turn for 7 or 8 mana if you foretell. Altogether, taking extra turns is always good. Getting the bird tokens is interesting. I don't know. Something I would love to see. All right, what else we got? All right, Raven Wings, and some of these, like a Null, we had in our sealed pool, and we just I evaluated them when we weren't on camera, so that's why some of these aren't showing up. Raven Wings, the equipped creature and is a burnished with other types. So there's definitely some types stuff going on in this set, so that's interesting. Forging the Tyrite Sword. Create a treasure token, 1 and 2, okay. And then search your library for a card named Halvar, God of Battle, or an equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. That's interesting. I like cards that name other cards. I just have always liked that idea, ever since, Mirrodin with the Kaldra, the Helm of Kaldra, and the Sword of Kaldra, and the Shield of Kaldra. It's just an interesting thing. I do like that this gives you another option on that. So if you don't have him like in a sealed pool or in draft, you don't have to. This card isn't useless. You can still use it in an equipment build. So that's fun. All right, and our Maskwood Nexus artifact. Creature you control are every creature type. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that are on the battlefield. That I definitely see having some implications for, commander decks and some other things. And then create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with changeling. We've seen similar effects in blue. The fact that it's an artifact and can go in any deck is why I say commander might like that. That's interesting. I'm not a big commander player myself, but when we had the store, Thursday nights were a commander night, and so I was often arm twisted into piloting someone's deck and doing that. And so I'm always keeping those things in mind, and particularly in thinking of, doing the single sales and things, of what cards, might be worth picking up because people in that community would be interested in them. Okay, so this is one of those kind of dual lands that taps for 1 color and requires 2 to activate. And I think the other one also created a token of some sort. We had it in our sealed pool, and I don't remember. It was blue-green, I believe. That one's an interesting effect. That's not bad. 4/4 flying vigilance. Spirit of the Alder Guard. Search your library for a Snowland card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. And it gets +1/+0 for each other snow permanent. So I would definitely love to draft. I'll come in and do a draft at some point once I know if the card's a little bit better. But like the snow permanent archetype looks interesting. This Battlefield Raptor was a really good card if you want to go aggressive and fast. In our sealed, I don't know. I imagine drafting that is probably pretty good as well, because you can be a little more synergized. Bound in Gold is an arrest effect. Okay, that's nice. And then Skull Raid, we saw. That's an interesting one. And it's good late game because if they don't have cards in hand, you get to draw, which is a nice effect for black. It is kind of expensive at 4, but Tyrite Sanctum. Alright, add colorless. Target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to other types. Put an indestructible counter on target god. Well, that's kind of cool. So you make legendary creatures gods and then make them indestructible. Okay. We're at our last pack here. Fearless Liberator boasts to create more dwarfs. So he goes around liberating dwarfs. Okay. Wither Crown. Enchanted creature has base power 0 and has the beginning of your upkeep. You lose 1 life unless you sacrifice this creature. That's an interesting enchantment. I like it, but I don't know. It seems like a complicated kill spell that I don't know. This is how I evaluate you can see the process here. I just read it, I think about some scenarios, and then I say, I don't know. And I decide that it's something I would love to play with or against. And you see, that's again why I play those games out sometimes, is if, I had an opponent and cast a Wither Crown, I'd get to see it in action. Even if it really didn't make a difference in the game, I at least get to kind of feel the implications of it, and kind of evaluate it a little bit more. Alright, Glacial Floodplain. That's interesting. I love that these are commons, these snowlands of the dual types. That just makes it so much nicer than being a random rare that's like, it's an okay card, it's good for your deck building and things, and I think being common in draft really helps. But then also for constructed, we're not chasing just rare lands all the time. And then Fall of the Imposter. Put a +1/+1 encounter on up to 1 target creature. So that twice. Exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. That's not bad. That's for 3 mana. That's a pretty good deal. Burji, God of Storytelling. Whenever you cast a spell, add red. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once. That's pretty cool. And then the horn on the backside, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. So some speed card draw on that. That's actually a pretty good card. I like the design of the gods in this set. Has been interesting. I didn't notice if with the other one if they all have some kind of tool on the back and artifact. Again, these are the things as we play more and get more experience. I like that, as opposed to original Theros, where you had the gods and their weapons, and you never got them together in limited, or very rarely, and they didn't always synergize. They felt like they should have. I like this is a nice way of doing it, where they don't have to synergize. They can be kind of opposite effects, and you decide which face is going to be better for you. So, all right. Well, I drug this out long enough to make it questionable as to whether or not I won that first game for you guys. So, thanks for watching. Leave your comments if you guys find out about Jake the Snake, or let us know. If you know the Magic Jake the Snake, give him a shout out. I love that deck. It's so thematic for him. So like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Check us out for some more videos. I'll probably make some more Kaldheim now that it's out. I'm trying to get a little bit more back into doing some regular Magic, since we've had a little bit of time for the bitter feelings to subside with closing the store up and that. So thanks for checking us out, and you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.